What's going on, guys? I'm your host, Beau, here to give you guys my thoughts and opinions on anything going on in the world of entertainment. And this is the spoiler review for Justice League. I did a non-spoiler review yesterday, late at night. And if you guys want to go check out my thoughts on the movie in spoiler-free detail, make sure you go watch that video. Of course, if you have not seen Justice League, do not watch this video because we're going to be talking about major plot points from the Justice League movie. So if you've not seen the movie, go check it out, and then come back here for the spoiler recap. So we're just going to get right into it. So again, spoilers. You've been warned. So let's dive into the spoilers. So, I wanted to talk about Superman. I want to talk about Superman for a little bit because I didn't really talk about him too much because if I talked about him more, it would be going into spoiler territory. But since now that we're in the spoiler section, I could finally talk about the things that I loved about Superman and that one particular scene that I really didn't like involving Superman. So, let's get into the scene that I didn't like that involved Superman. And that was his resurrection when Superman is brought back to life by the Justice League. That scene, I gotta tell you, did not work for me. It did not work for me, and I am 100% sure that was Joss Whedon. I'm pretty sure that was Joss Whedon's work right there. There was no way that was Zack Snyder, because if you watch the trailers, they were setting it up that somehow he was gonna like meet up with Alfred or something completely different. I could tell that was all Joss Whedon. But other than that particular scene, everything else with Superman was great. Superman with Lois Lane, talking on the farm, Superman fighting with the other Justice League members, heck, even Superman fighting the Justice League at one point. Those scenes I really liked. I thought that they were really good. I really think that they got the Superman character down in this movie, because in all the other DC movies, they've been really trying to figure out how to establish the Superman character. And I think in Justice League, they finally were able to get the Superman character right. So I really liked Superman in this movie, especially at that post-credit scene where he's racing the Flash. That's a great nod to the comic books, but it's also another great scene with Superman. That was a great scene. Superman and the Flash. I just loved Superman in this movie. He was great. So, I also want to talk more about Batman and Wonder Woman. I didn't really talk about them much in my non-spoiler review because, quite honestly, none of them really are changed. They're still the same characters. Wonder Woman is still Wonder Woman. If you watched Wonder Woman, the movie, and then you jump into Justice League, she's pretty much the same. There's nothing new added to her character in Justice League. But Batman, I will say, again, there's not too much changes to his character. It's just that at some points in the movie he makes some jokes, and sometimes he comes off kind of Tony Stark-ish, which is not terrible. I don't think it's bad that he's trying to trying to be like Tony Stark or trying to be a little bit funny, because the whole goal for Justice League was to make the DCEU lighter in tone. And as I said in my non-spoiler review, I thought the tone worked. I don't think that I think that they had a nice tone, consistent throughout the movie. There were some dramatic points in the movie, of course, but I felt the lighter tone was consistent throughout the movie. And so I thought the tone was perfect. And I didn't think that there was too much flaws with the tone. My biggest complaints were, pacing, storytelling, CGI, the third act. Let's get into the third act for a second. Another CGI monster fight. There's parademons flying around. Steppenwolf has all three mother boxes. He's combining them together. End of the world scenario. You know how it's gonna go. It's pretty simple. I don't really need to talk about it too much. I will say though, when the Justice League are fighting together, it is cool to see. I really love seeing the Justice League fight together as one unit. However, I gotta tell you, when they're interacting with each other, for instance, when they were talking to each other in the Batcave, that to me didn't work for me. I have no idea why, but that scene just didn't work. I think it's mainly because it just was like the way they try to connect with each other. I just didn't really see them as a team. And I get it. That's supposed to be like this is just the beginning of the Justice League, and they're gonna grow. But you know, I really wish that they meshed together better. Because Batman and Wonder Woman were great, and also Flash and Batman were also great. But when it came to Aquaman and Cyborg, I didn't really think that they really felt like they were part of the team. So, um, yeah. The other thing I wanted to talk about also was the Steppenwolf, his flashback scene. There is a Green Lantern that shows up, which was pretty cool. I forget the name of that Green Lantern. It's not John Stewart. It's not Hal Jordan. It's a completely different Green Lantern. I have no idea what his name is. The Steppenwolf has him on the ground, and that ring flies off. I don't know if that means anything. I don't know. I haven't read a lot of comic books. I don't know if that particular character gives his ring to like John Stewart or Hal Jordan. I'm not so sure. I don't read a whole lot of comic books. You guys let me know. Does that allude to anything to Green Lantern, the next movie? Green Lantern. Let me know, because I don't read comic books all that much. I mainly rely on the movies to get my comic book knowledge. Um, yeah, I really liked that flashback scene. I thought that was a really cool little flashback scene. And yeah, that was a pretty cool scene. Did anyone hear the Batman theme in the movie? It's very faint, but you can hear a little bit of Tim Burton's Batman theme thrown into the movie. It was very, very faint. I remember hearing it. I think it was in the third act, like the final battle act. I think it was in there. Or it was... I think they did it twice. The first time was when Jim Gordon talks to Batman, and he sees Batman, perched on that, like a giant, like perched on the roof, and pans up, and when you're hearing the music, you hear like a da 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 da, like like the Tim Burton theme. So I like that little nod to Tim Burton's Batman. I thought that was pretty cool. And I'm correct me if I'm wrong, but the music composer Danny Elfman, didn't he work on Tim Burton's Batman as well? I thought I heard that somewhere. I could be totally wrong. But I thought I heard that the music composer Danny Elfman had some involvement in Tim Burton's Batman. I could be totally wrong on that. If I'm wrong, just let me know. But it was nice to hear that Batman theme. I thought that was really cool. Just, it wasn't it wasn't out there, but if you can listen to the music carefully, you can hear similar beats to Tim Burton's Batman, which I thought was a pretty nice nod. The other things that I wanted to just talk about in the spoiler review was the post-credit scenes. As I mentioned earlier, there's the Superman and the Flash race scene, which I thought was pretty nice. But the one that I really liked was the final one, and that was with Lex Luthor and Deathstroke. I thought that scene was great because I didn't expect Deathstroke at all. I don't think anybody was expecting Deathstroke, but at the same time, when you think about it after the post-credit scene end, you can put two and two together, because remember when that leaked footage of Deathstroke went online, everyone was thinking that he was going to be in Justice League, and then we thought he was going to be in Batman, but he apparently makes a small appearance in Justice League in the form of a post-credit scene. He's talking to Lex Luthor, and it is Joe Manganiello who is playing Deathstroke, and I really like that scene. Just to see Deathstroke walk onto Lex Luthor's ship, just walking up there in slow-mo. I really dig the new Deathstroke suit as well. I just want to say that for a second. I really love the new suit. It looks great. I love the new Deathstroke suit. I think Joe Manganiello is going to nail it as Deathstroke. I think that he's going to make an appearance in the Batman movie, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure what's going on with the Batman movie at this point. We've been hearing a lot of things that's been going on with the movie, but correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that he is making an appearance, right? Again, let me know in the comment section below if I'm wrong or not. But I think he is supposed to make an appearance in the Batman movie. So, after seeing the small post-credit scene with him, I'm sold. I'm very excited to see him in the Batman movie, or whatever future movie he appears in. But Lex Luthor talks to Deathstroke, and he basically is like alluding to them forming a league of their own, and people are speculating that could be like Legion of Doom or the Injustice League, and also the Secret Society. So I have no idea who those groups are. I just don't. So if you guys know who those groups are, let me know who they are in the comment section below. Is it just a Suicide Squad 2.0? Is that really what it is? With supervillains? I don't know. I have no idea what that's alluding to. But from what I'm gathering, that just means like a bunch of supervillains coming together to fight the Justice League. Is that all it is? Just a bunch of supervillains? Because isn't that essentially the Suicide Squad in a way? Again, I don't read comic books, so I could be totally wrong. But I'm just gathering my knowledge off the movies. So I think that's all I really wanted to discuss. Superman's resurrection, like as I mentioned in the beginning of the movie, at the beginning of this review, I thought was kind of off. I didn't enjoy it. I thought they could have done it way better. And I think the big problem that I have with the movie is that a lot of the scenes in the trailers aren't in the movie, and I'm really wondering if they're gonna do an extended cut of this movie, like the Zack Snyder cut or the Ultimate Edition of Justice League. I don't know if they are gonna do it, but hopefully they do, because I really want to see how those scenes can be incorporated into Zack Snyder's version of the movie. Because quite honestly speaking, when I watch the movie, while there is moments where I can tell it's Zack Snyder, basically I'll put it like this. Anything involving Superman, you can tell was Zack Snyder. But anything not involving the Superman and involving the Justice League characters, you can tell was Josh Whedon. That's the best way to put it. Because the Justice League act kind of like Marvel characters. They kind of act like, out there superheroes. But with Superman, you can feel that Zack Snyder tone with the music and the dramatic tone. You can really tell it was Zack Snyder there. But with the Justice League characters, Aquaman, Batman, Wonder Woman, The Flash, Cyborg, that was Josh Whedon's work right there. So, that's really all I really needed to discuss. As I mentioned, it's an alright film. It's not the best movie in the world. It's not my favorite DC film. I still put that to Wonder Woman. I think that's the best DC EU film so far. But it's still a good film to watch, and I would still recommend you to go watch in theaters. So, that's it for my review for Justice League. My spoiler review for Justice League. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know, what were your favorite moments of Justice League? What were your least favorite moments of Justice League? Let me know in the comment section below. And before we get out of here, I also want to mention one more scene that I actually really liked, and that was when Superman was fighting all the Justice League characters. I liked when the Flash was like running, and he just like and Superman looks at him eye to eye. I thought that was a pretty cool scene. However, also, sorry, I forgot to mention these few scenes. That scene was cool. I really liked when Superman made eye to eye to the Flash. But the one that I gotta tell you, this was the other Superman scene that I didn't like. There was two of them. One was the resurrection scene, and this one, which was involving Superman and Batman. Superman has Batman by the throat, because he doesn't really remember himself too much after his resurrection. He raises himself up, and he starts saying, "Tell me." And when he said that, I said to myself, please don't do it. Please don't do it. And he does it. He says, tell me, do you bleed? And when he said that, I gotta tell you, that was cringe. I'm sorry, but that was cringe. I get it that it's supposed to be like, hey, it's a reference to Batman vs Superman, and hey, it's Superman now saying it to Batman, but that to me didn't work. I thought that was just very, very cringy. So, besides those two scenes of Superman, all the other ones were great. I really loved all the other ones involving Superman, but those two scenes in particular, the "Do You Bleed" scene and the resurrection scene, were cringe. I thought those were just completely cringy. And just could have been worked a lot better, in my opinion. But as I mentioned, good movie. Would recommend you guys go watch it. It's just not the best thing in the world. Could have been a lot better, in my opinion. So sorry for that. Just wanted to talk about some other scenes I forgot to talk about. And is there anything else I want to talk about before I go? I don't think so. I mean, Aquaman was all right, as I mentioned. I mean, he was. As I said in my non-spoiler review, we didn't get to see a whole lot of Aquaman. There's literally one scene where he's in the ocean, and that's where we get to see Mira, and she's just there for a quick second. Like, she's just there for a few seconds, and you don't even know who that character is. Like, she just pops up on screen, there's nothing mentioned about her character, and then Aquaman's gone. That's it. And again, I wish that they would have told us who the heck that character was, because I was scratching my head. I was just like, wait a minute. I know that's Mira, but I'm like, who is she again? So, really wish they would have, like, give us a little bit of character, just a smidge of character, like one sentence, like saying, like, I'm your sister, or I'm your daughter, or I'm your wife, something. But in Aquaman, they'll obviously explain who she is. But, yeah, Flash was also good. Him interacting with his father, that's obviously alluding to Reverse Flash and other characters. And the other scene sorry, this is the last scene. I just forgot. There was a bunch of other scenes I forgot to talk about. But this is the last scene that I wanted to talk about. The very beginning of the movie, as I mentioned in my non-spoiler review, the first 15 minutes, I was just not on board, and that was Batman is fighting a thug, just a random thug in the city, and then all of a sudden a parademon just shows up out of nowhere, and there's no explanation as to why this parademon just shows up. Batman just says that he's been hunting these parademons down, but they never show a scene beforehand establishing that Batman is hunting parademons. I feel like that's another big problem with the movie, is that there's a lot of shots, a lot of certain scenes in the movie where I feel like another scene should have been added in. For example, when the Justice League fights Steppenwolf in that underground area, and when that water is rising up, and then Cyborg just flies off, and then it just cuts to them being all right. I have no idea, but I felt like we just completely missed a scene right there. There should have been another scene there. Same thing goes for that Batman Parademon scene. They should have added some other scenes to make the story flow better, and not just make it just seem a little bit messy. Because I felt the story was kind of messy, to be quite honest. But hopefully we'll get more scenes in the extended cut if we do get one. So yeah, finally. Alright, that's all the scenes I really wanted to talk about. And yeah, that's it for my spoiler review for Justice League. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know in the comment section below what were your favorite scenes of Justice League, and what were your least favorite scenes of Justice League, and what was your favorite character of Justice League. And also, did you guys like the post-credit scenes? Let me know of all your thoughts in the comment section below. And make sure you guys check out also my trailer talk video. I talked about the Incredibles 2 teaser trailer. I talked about A Quiet Place, Hotel Transylvania 3, and also Rampage. If you guys want to go hear my thoughts on that, go check out that video. And that's it for my spoiler review for Justice League. Hope you guys enjoyed it. As always, as we end these videos, Beau out. See you next time. Peace.